Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Today we have a special meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council, which will be called to order today at 5:34 p.m. Madam Clerk, may you please take roll call?
Hassan Ahmad.
Present.
Mo Baidoon.
Here.
Nancy Breyer.
Here.
Robert Constant. Absent. Denise Malinowski Maxwell.
Here.
Hassan Saab.
Present.
Tom Wenzel.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We have a resident who's here with us today, who usually is always watching it online, but chose to be present with us. So she is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Lori Moline with us today, so please lead us.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lori. She's punking me out in her head right now. Next up, we have the agenda approval.
Council Chair,
Yep, Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda for the special meeting of April 29, 2025 as submitted.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Saab. Please mute yourself. Any discussion on that? Just want to be clear, we do have a closed session that we are going to be stepping out for a quick 20, 30 minutes, and we'll be back in here. So there's a closed session before we move on to the presentations in the police department. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is public hearings and public comments on anything they want to talk about. Seeing none. Anyone on Zoom? Seeing none. Next up, comments from council members. Seeing none. Next up, announcements. Seeing none. Public comments again. Lori Moline.
Might as well get this all over with now.
How you doing, ma'am? Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on. You have 3 minutes.
If you don't already know, Lori Moline, Berwyn Street, Dearborn Heights. There was something that was brought up at the last meeting regarding trees, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention because there was an amount of $600 that was tied into that. There's been a lot of trees, and if anybody can remember that last super bad storm we had, and there were trees down Gulfview Sub, I mean, they were everywhere, and they were monsters. We were without power, some areas for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, for the north end, it was bad. It was really bad. Trees were taken down on city property, the Berwyn Center. I think they lost 2, but they never put them back. There's no new trees. So if you're going to lump all this in, and with the sycamores, why should these residents who've had these sycamores, they don't want them. They moved there and they were there. So that's kind of like you're punishing them for something they had no choice in. Okay, and I don't think that that's very fair. The $600, if the city planted the tree, the city should pay for a replacement. I don't think it's fair. It just seems screwball-y to me. So that was all I had.
$600 are you?
Yeah.
There was something discussed at the last meeting that they were going to bring back the tree replacement for the residents.
So what happens here, if I may, I believe Angela went through this.
Okay.
Had a sycamore tree in front of her home.
Right.
And you want to charge her $300 to remove the tree.
Right.
And they wanted to charge her an additional $300 to plant a new tree.
No,
Right.
they want me to charge me anything, I had to pay for it all myself. They weren't gonna charge me $300 or anything, it was.
There was no partnership on that.
Or they weren't gonna do it until you stepped in it, but I still paid for the whole thing.
Yeah. So, but as of right now, what we discussed about the trees last time was, we don't know what trees we're buying, so we're not putting in a budget to purchase trees until we know what trees we're buying.
Right.
That was then, I know the DPW director was kind of insinuating, well, if we take down a tree, the residents should pay for a new tree. But no, it's always, there's a tree fund that the city always puts up a new tree if it's on a city property.
Well, that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So what happened to that?
look-
I mean, if you're gonna hold the resident, this goes for a lot of stuff, right? If you're gonna hold the residents responsible for anything and the city's not doing it, whether it's grass, trash, trees, buildings, homes, whatever. You've got to have the same, it's got to be the same across the board, and it just
Wholeheartedly
doesn't,
agree.
it doesn't seem that way.
Council Chair, I thought they only pay if the tree is healthy. They want it down and they want to.
The city will take down a diseased tree. If you want your tree removed in front of your home on a city easement, you have the right to pull a permit and take it down at your own expense.
Well,
And they
my,
want you to contribute to the tree fund.
Yeah, then, you know,
right,
that,
and that's, if they're not going to do it on city property, then you can't hold that same rule to a
I mean,
resident.
and they're supposed to. If they're
Right.
not following
Well,
the rules.
there's stumps at Berwyn if you want to go take a look at them.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So, okay, that's all I had.
Chair? Council Chair?
Yep.
You know, the sycamores have a certain lifespan, and they've already exceeded that. That's why they're spitting bark all over and losing branches. It may not qualify as disease, but when they're at the end of the life there, there's nothing further for it to grow and have. I mean, we should take down the sycamore trees like diseased trees.
I think when I asked the administration if we can remove, the sycamore trees in the city, I think they told us it was close to like a $5 or $6 million project to be able to remove down every single sycamore tree. And obviously, we don't have that funding to do. But I'm sure there's a lot of grant money out there that we can find.
Council Chair,
Yes, sir?
I think that we need to relook our tree ordinance because it's got, I mean, we've had a lot of questionable things going on since we had adopted this new tree ordinance. You know, for one thing, if you don't want a tree in your front yard, it's on city property, you can have it cut down. And some of these streets on my block and a couple blocks over, it used to be a tree-lined street, and now there's no trees there. You know, one tree supplies enough oxygen for a family of 4.
Yeah.
And
And it brings a lot of shade and stuff.
the trees block the wind, which keeps the winds down from knocking over power lines and branches on power lines. And I think we really got to look at this because that was a free-for-all. Since this new tree ordinance came up, it's a free-for-all, get rid of any tree you want in the city. We had designation in the past of Tree City USA. And I think that's not the case anymore.
Well, I will tell you, Councilman, if we, let me give you an example. If we did not have that tree ordinance today, someone like Angela Venegas and her mom, seniors who go out there and clean up in front of their lawn every day, are going to be forced to not be able to allow that tree to be removed if we didn't have this tree ordinance in place. So like I know, look, I'm somebody that wants trees. I like the wilderness. I want a tree in front of my house. But if a resident chooses at their own expense to want to take down a city tree and plant it elsewhere, so like if we're taking out a tree in front of their house, the ordinance reads, you have to put money into a tree fund to either plant it at a park, plant it somewhere else. But there has to be another tree replaced in the city of Dearborn Heights. Now, are they following that rule, Councilman? I don't think so. And I think that's where the issue lies.
Well, that's where we have to look at the ordinance, because some trees, there's different circumstances, you know, and not just any tree. I mean, sycamore trees originated from the Middle East. That's where they came from originally. And they say that Jesus was nailed to a sycamore tree.
Really?
Yep. But anyway, that's an exception, something like that. I know my neighbor across the street has a sycamore tree, and it's only probably about 20 years old, and year round, it sheds bark, it sheds branches all year long.
Balls.
In the
So
fall,
what do we do with that?
they're one of the last trees to lose their leaves, and the leaves are this big,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that big.
they're massive.
streets away. Oh, it's a safety
You
issue.
don't know, you were at my house.
I know. You had branches the size of this
Your
table.
dog, I don't take my dog to the vet,
This is-
get him dug out of his paws.
Year round, they shed.
So what's your opinion on it?
Sycamore trees can go. I mean, that's a nuisance tree, as far as I'm concerned, you know.
You're not allowed to plant them anymore
Yeah.
in the city.
All right.
Okay,
Okay, moving to our closed session.
we're gonna move.
Yeah.
Council Chair,
Okay, Councilman.
I'd like that the Dearborn
15
City,
a.m. Bloomberg, Dearborn Heights.
that the Dearborn Heights City Council move to closed session at 5:44 p.m. so that the City Council may discuss the legal case of Mazloum versus Dearborn Heights, which may include the City Council, Mayor Bazzi, Chief of Staff Hernandez, Corporation Counsel, and Carlito Young of Rosary, Schultz, Jopik, and whatever that name is,
Yeah,
AC. Do
Amster Bullet or P or some stuff.
I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad to discuss Mazloom versus Dearborn Heights, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Hassan Ahmad.
Here, yes.
Mo Betoon. Mo Betoon.
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Nancy Breyer.
Yes.
Robert Constance absent. Denise Malinowski Maxwell.
Yes?
Hassan Saab.
Yes.
And Tom Wenzel.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1.
Council Chair,
Yep. Councilman Ahmad?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council return to an open session at 6:22 PM.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman
Second.
Saab. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Is Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell here?
The restroom.
Use the restroom.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Next up, we
Council
have,
Chair.
I gotta put the motion.
A motion.
I know. I'm gonna have Council, you wanna do it, or?
I could do it.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman Ahmad.
Council Chair, I would like move that the Dearborn Heights City Council go with the recommendation of the legal counsel in the case of Mazloom versus Dearborn Heights.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad to follow the recommendation of our special counsel, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. All right, next up, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Council
Motion to
Chair.
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
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 Come on, guys, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Spit my gum out.
Thank you. Thank you.
The ayes have it, motion carries.